Alright, next video, we're gonna, like, go into, with Actman, like, when it comes to Battlefield 6, a confusing success. Like, he's gonna talk about the Call of Duty when it comes to this, because I feel like games these days flip-flop between themselves. Like, one year, and again, I have not played any of these series. I feel like one year Battlefield is like having a controversy about a game, or it's not good, and then Call of Duty is like average or has decent gameplay or whatever. And then the next year it'll flip flop and Battlefield will be a success and Call of Duty will be doo doo. And then it'll flip flop back and forth. Like, it just, it's like a never ending tennis match on uh, who's gonna come out the winner each year. It's, yeah. Yeah, let's see what the Actman's got to say about this.
What's this? A new Battlefield game? And it has a modern setting? Oh my god! Where's Nicki Minaj? Where's all the Beavis and Butthead skins? Are we at least able to play as Peter Griffin? I mean, come on. What is this? It doesn't look like a cartoon.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. It is annoying that, like, because I have multiplayer game fatigue. Like, I was tired 5-10 years ago of it, and it's gotten worse over the years. But it is annoying when you go into a game series and it has a multiplayer, and they basically try to make it look like another game. Like, when you think Call of Duty or Battlefield or any of these, like, sometimes quote unquote realistic like war type games, and then one of the skins or character thing you can unlock makes you look like a fucking cartoon character or some celebrity or something, and it takes you completely. It's like, if I wanted to play Fortnite, I'd play Fortnite. Just, like, I feel like a lot of, especially the multiplayer game genre, like, they're afraid to have their own identity. And it's so annoying. Quit copying and pasting.
At all. A normal, realistic, modern military shooter. It's been so long since I've seen one of these.
It's been 84 years.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. After 4 years of meandering mediocrity, Battlefield has finally returned. The prodigal son is back, here to challenge Call of Duty, create some competition between the two, and hopefully get Call of Duty to improve on its standard of quality, which, as you know, has been some believe Battlefield 6 is
Eloquently
a return to
put.
form. They say the franchise is finally back on the right track, and this game has the numbers to back that up. I don't think anybody expected the player counts to be this big. Over 500,000 concurrent players on Steam. Did you know that puts Battlefield 6, just the beta by the way, within the top 20 games?
Yeah, I played a little bit of the beta.
Count rating on Steam.
I mean, it was
That's no easy feat.
chaotic.
So clearly, whatever the player
But
count
fun.
is, whatever EA and
But I
DICE
didn't really
have
play a
done,
lot of it.
they've
I just wanted to check it out.
successfully recovered a large number of fans that they lost with 2042, and I was one of them. Even all of the people complaining.
I have
rightfully
played
so, on the
2042, Battlefield
subreddit,
2042.
I think even most of them
It's on
are
Game
enjoying
Pass,
the
so,
game.
you know.
It just seems like it could be so much more. We are this close on the verge of greatness. And after playing the beta, I have some issues
2042
myself,
was a fucking
but
disaster.
I had fun. It's safe to say, Battlefield 6's beta makes me confused. During the first beta period, the lowest the Steam player count got was like 140,000 people. And even during
Damn.
the start of the second beta,
Oh, yeah?
player counts were sitting
Terraria just up there. Not going anywhere. Haunting the narrative. It's like one of those games. It's just gonna stick around for a while, you know? Yeah, 2042 was like, the only good thing that came out of 2042 was the memes and the fact that the backlash was so harsh that they literally made Battlefield 6. They're like, oh shit, we gotta improve our shit. We gotta do something. Cause you can't tell me they just decided to make Battlefield 6 look like it might actually, be a good game just because. The backlash from 2042 had to light the biggest bonfire straight up that booty hole.
At 370,000. Although the game is doing well by the numbers, Battlefield fans certainly have a lot of shit to talk about the game, its map design, open or closed weapons. There's a lot of things to debate. And that's why we're here today, to find out why Battlefield 6 is a confusing success. What do they need to do between now and launch to ensure this game has a healthy, consistent player base? How do they please the Battlefield fans? Spoilers, just add operations. Bring that shit back, it was so good. Now don't get me wrong, I think the game is absolutely fun. I'm here. But is it going to get repetitive and stale faster than it should?
Also, it didn't happen to me, but I saw a lot of vids and clips of people randomly getting their shit kicked in by randomly flying chairs. In the oh god, in the beta. I mean, it like what was that part of the game? Was that on purpose or is that a bug and a glitch? Like just random
I have some issues
fucking
with
chairs
the game,
killing
mostly in
people.
regards to the map design. Here's the good news. Pretty much every current problem I and most people have with Battlefield 6, all of it is totally fixable. This isn't like 2042 where the first time you play it you're like, oh, so there's just no hit registration in this game. Holy
Yeah, it was
shit,
so
they have to
bad.
delay
This actually
And then
happened to me when I
comes
played
out
it.
And you're like, yep, knew it, should have been delayed. Battlefield 6 is a competent game, and coming off of 2042, that's what we needed most. In fact, 6 may have had the smoothest launch of any Battlefield title. But what are the biggest issues facing the game as we head towards launch? Are people going to get burned out too quickly? Will this hype transition into the full release? Or has EA once again got us by the balls?
God damn it.
Well, let's try to fly a helicopter
That
and
fucking
inevitably crash
cutscene.
it. How do I aim?
Ah!
And don't revive any of our teammates.
Oh my
straight
god,
into
the ass
this.
crack.
To appreciate
Full
what
screen.
Battlefield 6 has going for it, well, let's take a quick
Yeah, the
look at
vehicle
what we're
driving-
coming off of.
Like I didn't play that much of the beta, so I didn't really mess around with the vehicles, but in 2042, I could not control those fucking vehicles, or at least the flying ones anyway. They made no sense to me. My brain just could not compute how they were supposed to fly. Like, what am I doing? And then I'd see clips of people, like, doing the fucking most. Getting kills left and right. Just fully winning the game by themselves in their little flying contraption. And I'm like, I can't even steer this thing without blowing it up. Like, ugh. So I have a feeling it'll probably be the same in 6. And I'm just not even gonna bother. I'm just not even gonna bother trying to fucking fly.
Where we came from.
That brother's fogging.
More flashes of light. More. There it goes.
Oh my god, look at that.
Oh, it was so unreal in this, you guys.
What? I'm gonna do it.
What? Damn it.
That is one big pile of shit.
Yeah, Battlefield 2042 was an absolute shit show. In fact, the beta was so bad, I didn't even bother playing the game when it actually released.
Like, the
There
only
was no
entertainment you
reason
got
to.
out of it was
I
how
said
bad it was.
2042's beta was the worst FPS multiplayer I've ever experienced, and to this day, I wholeheartedly agree with that statement.
I'm losing my mind over here. This is the worst multiplayer I've ever played. First-person shooter-wise.
Even Halo MCC, the most broken thing in the world. The problem with that game is it just didn't work. 2042 just didn't work, and the game underneath all of the glitches and bugs was awful. 2042 didn't even have a scoreboard, man. A first-person shooter game with no scoreboard.
Yeah, even I found that
Imagine
weird, and I
playing
never really
basketball
played
in high
Battlefield
school
before.
and you're just like, hey, ref, what's the score? No, you don't need to know.
I was so confused.
What's for you? We don't want to make anybody feel bad.
DICE even went so far as to say the scoreboard was a legacy feature.
A
The reason I
legacy
bring
feature.
this up again is just to illustrate how far they have come since then. Look at this beautiful scoreboard. It has kills, deaths, assists. Oh my god.
Yeah, when
can
I first
tell
saw
how many
that in the
points
beta, I
I've
was like,
scored.
oh.
The wonders of modern technology.
Yeah, they definitely
am
know
I
they
right,
did wrong in the
folks?
last one.
Classes are back instead of those dumbass operators. And if you're a huge fan of operators and you're kind of bummed out by this news, well,
Don't be sad. This is just how it works out sometimes.
I love just playing as a regular soldier, not some kind of like video game character that feels like an influencer. You know what I mean? Why are you trying to be cool in a war zone? While it's easy to look back on the masterpiece that was Battlefield 1 and say, well, 6 has a lot to improve on. I think in terms of like tiers, 2042 being the worst, Battlefield 1 being the best, 6 made a significant leap towards being as good as Battlefield 1. And that's important, the game is fun. And if it's not fun, why bother? If I could play it right now, I would. In fact, Battlefield 6's design director, Shawshank Uchiho, said, the game has to be grounded. He doubled down on EA's commitment to grounded realism and even pointed to Call of Duty's infamous Nicki Minaj skin as something Battlefield 6 doesn't need. It
Yeah,
has to
it's-
be grounded. That is what BF3 and BF4 was. It was all soldiers on the ground. It's going to be like this. I don't think it needs Nicki Minaj. Let's keep it real. Keep it grounded. And if you listen closely, you can
Yeah, it's. I don't know why that was even up for debate, because it's like. I don't know, it's. I don't know what it is with, like, corpos these days, where they think it's a great idea to follow a trend that has nothing to do with the IP they have. Like I said earlier, it's like, quit trying to Fortnite everything. Like, quit looking at one trend that's successful and then trying to copy that trend into the IP you have, and it makes no fucking sense. And it just angers the true fans or even casual players. It makes no sense. Like, just stop it. Just stop it.
hear the screams and the suffering of every Nicki Minaj fan.
As if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced.
I think at this point we have
I'm pretty
seen
sure
so
Nicki
much of the
Minaj fans were confused.
Fortnitification of first-person shooters that just the idea of playing a modern military type game that takes itself somewhat seriously is refreshing. I think that's why I had so much fun with Ready or Not. It was a game that was unapologetically like almost too realistic, you know? And we need that for like the FPS massive
heard that game-
multiplayer type setting.
Some people that
Now,
are
what has DICE
were
done
actually
right
like
with Battlefield 6?
did that
A lot of
job.
things. One of the most important improvements
like
was
couldn't finish
when you
it
shoot your
because it
gun,
was too realistic.
bullets hit the
It
things
reminded
you're
them.
aiming at.
Impossible.
Your mind's blown right now. I cannot tell you how awful it felt in 2042 when there was just like no hit registration. I think the overall
No, it was so
feel of
annoying
the
'cause it
game,
happened to
its
me a couple of
pace is
times, and I was
solid.
like,
It's
are you
fast
kidding
and
me?
Fluid. It still feels
You could
like
be right on
Battlefield
top of
to an
them, just
extent.
spraying
One
and
of my
praying
favorite new
up their
mechanics is
asshole
the drag
and nothing.
revive. Something so simple but adds so much. Okay, yeah, they're down that. Oh, dude, and you can drag me away? Oh, okay. All right. There's a scoreboard. There's cool new mechanics. Rather than having to stop and revive a teammate in a particularly exposed position, there are so many moments where you can take your teammate, pull him back behind a doorway or into a corridor behind cover and save his ass. It's so much fun. Oh my God. My hero. My hero. It creates these cinematic moments where you're really working together with your teammates and your buddies and no man left behind, you know, that type of vibe. It allows you to do a bit of role play. You know, you're under heavy fire, you're trying to save your buddy, It ends up being the wrong decision, and then you, of course, die too. I'm gonna get you.
Oh, no.
That was so dumb.
Call of Plump
You
Cheeks.
tried.
I can't
It
with
was
that
funny.
name.
Another huge improvement is just the visual feedback you get from scoring kills, landing shots, getting points, reviving teammates, resupplying, taking an objective, etc. That was sorely lacking in 2042. You had nothing on screen to pop up and say, "Good job, you accomplished something." I think it could still be a bit better, but it feels good to contribute to the team effort, to the goal of achieving victory. Whether it's repairing a tank or taking a point or scoring a multi-kill or reviving a bunch of teammates. The core gameplay loop is satisfying, and that's what makes it so addicting. Now, all you really need for Battlefield 6 is just the content to keep the experience fresh. Now, I'll be honest, I don't consider myself to be the biggest Battlefield fan, but I absolutely fucking loved one. I put hundreds of hours into it across PC and Xbox, so a lot of my comparisons come from my experience with that game, how amazing, epic, and awesome it was. There really was, and still
again with
is,
the naming
nothing
conventions
quite
though, it's not
like
the first Battlefield,
1 and
it's
the
Battlefield
scale
1.
of operations, the behemoths, the vehicles, the World War I setting, nothing quite hits like it. And I wish they would at least try to do that again. Most of the weapons feel great. Many have noticeable recoil, so, you know, not every gun is just a laser beam. I like that. As far as my experience with the beta, technically, like, I had very few issues. Got kicked out of a game once, but that's about it.
Okay. Thank you. Reload the gun.
I think I just got kicked. The game was ended and all players were disconnected. What? It put me back in the So that's a really good sign.
Yeah, it
At
was
least
funny
as
when
far
I
as
first
how the game will launch.
logged into the beta thing, and the current queue for it was like, I don't know, it was like 30,000 or something like that, and I was like, what? How long am I gonna have to wait? And then literally like a minute later I was in. I was like, wait a minute. They gave that. Wait.
Will it be playable? Because we always have to think about that in the era of modern gaming. I was a bit spooked though when I ran into the flashing epilepsy lights again though. Whoa,
Oh.
whoa, what are these flashing lights?
Whoa.
Whoa, oh my god, whoa. So Battlefield 6 brings back classes. That's right. You now have actual strategic decisions to make before you enter the game. What type of gadgets are you going to bring in? What sort of role do you want to fulfill on your team? What role will you play in this army, on this battlefield? Hell yeah.
It's gonna make me feel like I'm playing in a battlefield.
Oh, that's why they call it that. Oh, that makes sense now. Now, you would think classes are pretty simple, straightforward ideas. It's just a concept that's proven to work across numerous Battlefield games. They fucked it up last time. Now it's time to fix and course correct. And what? Open weapons? What is that? So every class can use like every gun now? Why? Battlefield 6 does this weird thing where it allows a recon or sniping class to equip an assault rifle. An engineering anti-vehicle class can bring in a sniper.
Yeah, I was confused when I saw that.
This is a thing or what benefit it brings to the game.
Because I thought it was supposed to be like
remove the uniqueness of playing each class, right? Again, you look at Battlefield 1. Medics had rifles. Assaults had SMGs. Shotguns. Supports had light machine guns. Recon had snipers and carbines. I mean, it was pretty straightforward, and there was a bit of overlap between some of the classes, but for the most part, you picked a class, you picked a weapon. And it made sense because each class has trade-offs, you know?
Yeah, again, I'm not
At least they're
even
supposed to. Also, one thing Battlefield 1 did really
like,
well
I
was
haven't
give
really
all
played
four classes
any
some
of the
kind
Battlefields,
anti-vehicle
really.
weapon or tool.
Besides
right now,
the mess that was
supports don't have
2042.
any. I've thrown frag grenades at tanks, and I don't think it
And the
damages them
beta.
at all. Even if it was
But even
like
I
a
was
mine,
confused,
an
'cause it's like-
attachable bomb or like armor-penetrating bullets for the
because I had
recon
heard
class.
that
I mean, they
the
gave you
classes were supposed to be
something.
specific.
And what I
You were
don't
supposed
like
to
feeling in Battlefield
only
is
be able to
the
use
idea
certain
that, oh, there's
things.
a tank, there's a vehicle, I can't do anything about it. If I want to play this class, Now, speaking of gadgets and tools, I think the ones we had in the beta were pretty fun. How they all work together and how OP they might be is another story. It's almost like every class is overpowered in its own way, and I do think that's kind of cool. Want to play Assault? Here's a free shotgun for you. Everyone that plays Assault gets a shotgun.
I love the shotgun. I'm not gonna lie.
Take 6 RPGs. Fuck it. Ah, you're more of a support main? Here, take this defib and go and revive your entire 31-player team in about 5 seconds.
The thing I loved about the defib though was people were like healing and then killing someone with it. You could like fucking murder someone with that goddamn defib.
Need to be addressed behind auto spotting and every assault.
Like I love that that's a thing.
Shotgun. At the very least, it feels like every class is consistently overpowered. And so long as we're bringing back regular classes, might I offer the suggestion of elite classes? I remember picking up a sentry kit or a flame trooper in Battlefield 1, and it always felt really cool to find a power-up on the map. You know, I wonder if any first-person shooters have ever thought of that. Let's put a power-up on the map, something that makes your guy stronger, makes you feel cool. I know it's a beta and there's probably going to be more weapons, attachments,
yeah, shotguns and like... Listen, I've actually got upset at some games where I'll be enjoying it, and then I would get the shotgun, and it would just be ass, and I'd be fucking upset. Like, how can you screw up a shotgun? Everyone knows what a shotgun is. Everyone knows what it's supposed to feel like. In a video game, at least. You know? If you don't feel like a badass with the shotgun, they screwed up.
I hope, but weapon customization was decent. It was fun enough grinding attachments. I just hope there's a lot more to it. And I think the point/attachment system was unique. Rather than just like a pick 10 or, you know, here's 5 attachments, it adds certain value to the different parts of your gun. And I like that you have to make decisions about cost versus effect. The thing that sucks about Battlefield 6 is that you can't really tell what class someone is at a distance. Unless it's recon and like sometimes they have ghillie suits, it's really hard to spot, pun intended. Once again, going back to Battlefield 1, if I just throw up images of each of the different classes, I think you can tell what they do. Also, they had way more factions in Battlefield 1 and therefore way more different costumes. There was visual variety, like themes to each operations or conquest map. I think it's important in a Battlefield game to be able to simply glance at an enemy and know what type of tools they have at their disposal. You know, medics had the crutches on the back that stuck out.
Yeah, from what little I played, Battlefield 6, the shotgun did feel nice.
Snipers had a cape.
So don't screw it up.
Improving visual clarity in this game is very important. And maybe redesigning some of the
don't
classes,
update it and it just
to
breaks the shotgun
roles,
or something.
And also look like they fill specific roles. It certainly doesn't help that all these different classes can use a variety of different weapons. It just begs
it doesn't make any sense. Why have classes if everyone can just have everything else the other characters have? Like,
and if the game can't accommodate that, then maybe DICE needs to make better weapons, extra ammunition types. Now here's another thing Battlefield 6 is sorely lacking. Personality. With the factions, the announcer, it's just, if you've played any other modern shooter, it will sound and feel exactly the same. It's all just so generic, and I get that it's a modern setting and you're kind of limited in what you can do, but come on, like, haven't you seen those videos of the guys recording lines for Battlefield 1 and they just scream their lungs out into the mic? The voice acting for each of the factions was a different language, and
yeah, I think that's also an indicator. If your voice actor is not having some fucking fun and going full ham in the game, I mean, come on now. Come on.
It all felt so intense. You didn't even need to speak that language to understand what they were saying, if that makes sense. Apart from like bullets and explosions, in Battlefield 6, you never really feel like you're hearing the sounds of people fighting a war, screaming, yelling, or whatever. Overall, the core gameplay is fun. It's missing a lot of things that I would consider important, things that would help it stand out. But to all these
Yeah, it sounds like he's saying it needs to be fleshed out a little more.
I think it's time to get your shoes on because
That fucking Sonic thing will never go away.
No, not that guy. Because boy, is this game
The
fast
fuck was
as
that?
fuck. Holy mother of God. When is a game too fast? When is it too slow? Call of Duty Ghosts is when it's too slow. Battlefield 6, too fast. I've been here. Okay. It's weird. Sometimes I get the impression that DICE is specifically appealing to the like ADHD riddled TikTok brain rot Twitch shooter audience because there is hardly ever any
Eggman, call him
downtime
out.
in the beta. And that's if you're just playing Battlefield 6 normally. It feels like it's impossible to go more than 10 seconds without seeing someone, shooting someone, or being shot at. Even when you're playing
It did, like,
as a
again, I
sniper
only
and
played
you're
a little.
trying to play like a hunter.
I only played a little of the beta, but even during that short time I played, a few of the games went by really quick. Because I just kept fucking dying. Like, I didn't even really get to do a lot in a couple of them. Like, I would just spawn in and just immediately get wrecked. Or, as soon as I was, like, had come back or got revived, I would get downed again. It was annoying. Like, the gameplay itself was, like, fine. It was a little fun. But that got annoying. But again, I haven't played Battlefield. Like, except for 2042. And I only did that for the memes.
Get a good sightline. Like, on Liberation Peak, if you pop your head out as a sniper, you are going to be getting shot at almost immediately.
Yeah.
Sometimes the spawning area is literally like a 3-second walk away from where the active battle is taking place. It feels like they made a bunch of regular
Yeah, if I do end up playing this,
and then just
I know I'm just
them like a can.
I just
They
know I'm gonna go full on
condensed all of
shotgun
this
and nothing
shit,
else.
And that's why it feels so chaotic and crazy.
So I started
like
blasting.
faster-paced combat in my first-person shooters, and there's one map in Battlefield 1 that did it really well. Point to Hawk. It was mostly corridors, and it had this smaller outside exterior area that ran across the interior of the map, and it was a small map. It feels like all of the maps in Battlefield 6 are even smaller than that one. And thus the game feels way faster, more chaotic, and less strategic as a result.
Yeah, see, I just thought it was because I only
animations
played 2042, and those
quick.
maps are fucking,
ADS
like,
time feels almost
humongous compared to
instantaneous.
6.
Looking at attachments,
So
there's
it
no
felt
reason
weird to
to
me,
improve
but I was like,
ADS
maybe
speed.
it's supposed to be like
almost
this.
instant for every gun anyway, even LMGs. There's just no real weight to your character. And I like weight because I'm an LMG Chad. Now, because you don't really have the space or time to be strategic or make strategic decisions, you're always just kind of thinking on your feet and in the moment. Because most times you're spawning in on teammates or a beacon, you are spawning into open gunfire. Go, shotgun duel. What the fuck? This guy
Stream
just
down.
jumped.
What? Something go wrong with the stream? Uh-oh. Yeah. So it's back up, we're stable. You can see and hear me. Because I don't want to, like, start the video back up and it just crashes again or something. That's gonna get annoying. Don't jinx it. Watch my fucking power go out like 5 minutes later or something. Don't jinx me. God damn it. Knock on wood. Okay. Let's get back and watching this, man.
This is
Here's to
certainly
hoping
not
Twitch
helped
doesn't
by how
shut us
Battlefield
down.
6's maps basically funnel you into one of 3 lanes, or they funnel you into a bunch of corridors. There really is no truly open, wide space. I don't know, everything is just so dang fast, from reloading, sprinting, climbing a ladder. I'm glad there's no tech sprint, that would ruin this game, but at times when I use an LMG, it feels like I'm just using an assault rifle that has a 60 round mag, because it doesn't feel like a light machine gun, if that makes sense. While everything feels
Yeah.
snappy and responsive, in that sense, it often feels less tactical, less like a Battlefield game and more like Call of Duty. And I'll be honest, I don't really care about Black Ops 7. I feel I have played enough Call of Duty for a lifetime. We need more Battlefield. We need a better Battlefield game. Please save us. Now let's talk about the most controversial part of Battlefield 6. No, not the cheating scandal, though I will have a video on my second channel, Actman TV, about that.
There's
if you wanna
always a
check it
cheating
out.
scandal
Links
in
the
every
description,
fucking
pinned
game.
comment. No. The worst part of Battlefield 6 are the maps. At least the ones
God
we got
damn
to
it,
play.
Liam, don't be
Going
bringing
to
up that
make
fucking
or break
chicken.
The game for me and probably many others, because I'm fairly
Nightmarish.
confident the map selection at launch is not going to be good enough. I would be surprised if people thought, oh yeah, 9 maps? 4 of them are super tiny? That's a Battlefield game. DICE and the Battlefield Company are going to have to hit the ground.
See, it's either like when it comes to multiplayer games, especially ones where it's like I don't have any friends to play them with, it has to be fucking amazing for me to be like hyped about it and want to play. I'm more interested to see, because I'm pretty sure Battlefield 6, they're supposed to have a campaign. But don't quote me on that, because all I kept hearing about was the fucking beta and the multiplayer. So I'm interested to see if they're gonna wow with the campaign. Because campaigns, for some reason, I wonder why, it's a mystery, have gone down the fucking shitter. Like, it's just the biggest turd that's being flushed. And it's so fucking annoying. Because, like, I have a feeling if I actually ever play, like, the earlier Battlefield games or the early Call of Duty games, I have a feeling I'll probably enjoy the campaign and could care less about the multiplayer.
Running when they release this game, when it comes to the live service and updating it. And they're going to need
Better
to have
than a
map,
cheating
like,
scandal
in
in a
the
marriage,
first
I
month,
guess.
at least. Because there's
There's
so
probably one
much
of those
wrong
too.
with what they offered in the beta. Not wrong in the sense that it plays like shit and it isn't fun, but that
Well,
it doesn't play
Twitch
like
shut down
Battlefield.
my stream
And let
for
me
a
just
minute
say,
there.
Battlefield 6
Panda,
is fun
that's what you
in
missed.
spite of its map design, limited as it is.
Twitch said no.
You still have moments where you can destroy someone's camping spot. You can crush buildings and revolutionize the map design. That element, thankfully, is still there. But credit where credit is due, most games that have bad or mediocre maps are also not fun to play. But Battlefield 6 is. And one thing that really stands out is just how samey they all feel. Not just in terms of look and design, but how they play. Empire State doesn't really play any different than Cairo, despite the fact that they're 2 radically different parts of the world. They both just feel like a clustered downtown cityscape with no wide open terrain. It feels like corridor combat, a video game, not like you're on a battlefield. I mean, we've had great desert maps in the past. The Sinai Desert, Suez Canal, Foul Fortress, these maps
I'm
are
getting the
fucking
feeling
legendary.
Actman really
I
loved
can just
Battlefield
show
1.
you
I don't know about you
images
guys.
from any of Battlefield 1's maps. I think take the worst map in Battlefield 1, it's better than anything we played in 6. You had Monte Grappa, which fulfilled this fantasy of like storming a mountain or fighting on a cliffside. The big problem with Battlefield 6's maps is that they're all small, tiny cityscape corridor shooters. It's also that they don't really have any personality, kind of like the rest of the game. I think Levolution works pretty well in this, but from clips I've seen of Battlefield 4, there were entire massive buildings you could destroy, and there's nothing quite on that scale. But once again, remember, 2042 fucked up a lot of things, and Levolution was also part of that. So this is an improvement from the previous game. Yeah, so many of these maps just look gray, washed out, lacking color, visually too similar to each other. And then if you look at any of Battlefield 1's maps, like they all fulfilled a different kind of fantasy, whether it was fighting across like a snowy no man's land or running through trenches. There were maps based on these cluster of islands.
Yeah, again, I only played a little bit of the beta, but
battleships and these giant blimps and airplanes.
everything
and
did
all this
kind
shit
of
was
look the
going
same on the
and it was
maps.
so cool. There were so many different aspects of Battlefield 1's maps outside of their design I mean, there's really not much on the maps in Battlefield 6. There's like a repair station, and sometimes there's these weird anti-tank turrets that for some reason are never pointed in the direction where tanks are coming from. So it's like they go unused. In most maps, there's maybe like a few tanks and a few vehicles. There is more vehicle combat in Conquest, but for stuff like Breakthrough or Rush, there's like one tank on the whole map. For 42 players, it doesn't feel like a Battlefield.
I can't remember which modes I played.
All-out warfare, not just infantry-focused combat. I'll be honest, I am pretty worried about how this game is going to be received at launch because we played 4 of the 9 available maps. And one of those we haven't played is a remake.
Twitch
so
is
essentially,
muting
we've already seen over half of the maps in Battlefield 6.
the audio on
and
PC.
If they're getting this kind of reaction from fans, well, the other 5 have gotta be fucking tits. Let me just say that. You know what I think it is? Why the maps are so tiny? I think DICE saw the reception to 2042. Like those massive, wide open, way bigger than they ever should have been maps with 128 players.
Yeah,
going
from those maps to the one in the beta of 6 was so disorienting for me. Because, again, I haven't really played Battlefield except for 2042, and now the beta for 6. So it went from these humongous giant maps to these itty bitty mini maps, basically. And it was so disorienting. Like, I was like, what's happening? Oh.
Fucking boring that game was. How much people disliked
had to refresh a bunch.
How giant the maps were. And they
I wonder what's causing that,
overcompensated for it.
Yomi.
They went the complete opposite direction. Okay, you don't like the big stuff? We're gonna make everything tiny now. I think the reason folk are upset is because they expect a Battlefield game to provide on its tagline phrase that describes the series better than anything else: all-out warfare. You want to feel like you have all the tools of warfare at your disposal, all the jets, helicopters, RPGs, tanks, jeeps, mongooses, artillery, cannons, everything. It's not just that the maps are so tiny, it's that there isn't enough to use or interact with or find on them. Battlefield 6 offers
they have to find that balance between pure chaos
all-out warfare department.
And
I get that with World War
not
I
getting
and
your
World War
shit
II,
kicked in
there's
as soon as you
so much
spawn
more
in.
You can do with that setting because it's
Like,
so
you gotta find that
established,
nice
it was so massive. But I've seen
sweet
some
spot.
pretty epic gameplay from Battlefield 4 and Bad Company 2. Clearly, it's possible. In fact, some of my buddies say Battlefield 4 is better than 1. So I've seen what this series can do in a modern military setting. Now, don't get it twisted, folks. I still think this game is fun. It has a solid foundation, but it is in desperate need of more content. For me, this is all constructive criticism because I like what they put together. I just think the bones of this game are loaded with calcium, and now let's put some meat on those bones. Build up the muscles a bit. I want to see DICE do such a good job with this game that they force Call of Duty to do better. I want to watch both of these series be competitive again. And the way to do that is not by taking this established Battlefield formula and identity and reducing it into something that resembles Call of Duty.
I've been planning on it for a while now.
Capitalize on Battlefield,
but I do want to play the earlier,
its identity.
like,
Crazy
Battlefields and Call of Duties, at least the ones with campaigns.
Landscapes, tall buildings, height advantage, makes things wide open, give us tons of vehicles and things to grab or interact with or do on each map. That has always been Battlefield's biggest strength, is that it accommodates all kinds of FPS combat. It can fulfill everyone's desires and all their power fantasies. It's just a matter of if the developers can pull it off. And last but not least, let's quickly mention the UI. Now, I simply don't like games where half of the matchmaking options are like hidden off screen, or they have these gigantic boxes that look like dog shit. It's so inconvenient. I just want the information on screen. I want it to be practical. And although it's not terrible, it certainly looks like Hulu. Matter of fact, it actually looks like Warzone or Call of Duty's menu. It looks exactly the same.
I'm so tired of these fucking
UI
menus in
mock-up
games.
that someone posted on.
Like, you guys, menus in games used to have style. They had character. Like, I don't mean to sound like an old crazy person, but back in my day, I remember cleaning my room, like doing my chores as a kid, with some of the game's menus just playing like the background music on the menu, and sometimes the menu would have like some cool like video playing or something. Like nowadays the menus, I need a fucking tutorial on how to navigate them half the time, or they're just so like, I don't know how to describe it besides it's too much. It's fucking too much and not enough style. It's just, it's bad. Like,
On Reddit in like 2 days. Look at how much better this is. Everything's so clear. The font size increases based on the thing you select. It's just, it looks good. The thing with Battlefield 6.
oh, you
want to
bump up a video in queue,
now,
Panda? Yeah. After this one, just tell me which one it is.
There wasn't any with 2042. In the end, I think I'm rooting for DICE. I'm rooting for this game to succeed, to save us from the eternal torment of mediocre first-person shooters. Just make a competent modern military shooter that's somewhat realistic and takes itself even slightly seriously. That's all I ask. Make it fun. That being said, the numbers don't lie, and they look very promising. But what do you think? Is Battlefield 6 gonna launch in a great state? You think they have?
Well, see, the way
are they able?
I grade like a multiplayer game,
Let me know your thoughts
like
and
any
opinions in the
multiplayer
comments
game.
down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to theactman for more awesome content. A big shout out to all of my
If I can have
patrons.
fun
If you'd
playing
like
a
to support the
multiplayer
channel, you
game
can do so in the
without
description down below.
at least one
All right,
friend
everyone,
to
that's
play
all I got
with,
for today.
like just
This is the Actman
if I can
signing
do it
out.
solo,
Peace.
if I can play the game solo in the multiplayer and still have fun, because I hate playing with strangers. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's so fucking annoying. But if it's fun enough to capture my attention when I'm playing solo and I don't have any friends to play said game with, then they've done something right. But yeah, we'll see when cause when does Battlefield 6 in the Call of Duty, which one, what number is it, 7? Like, when do they come out? Are they coming out around the same time, or because I've already forgotten. But it would be interesting to see, to compare which one succeeds more at what. And you know, them numbers are going to be numbered.